Hi everyone. Happy New Year. Woo! It's January 1st, 2023. It's now 7 p.m. UK time. I have been so busy um over the past month. I wasn't even sure whether I was going to get this out in time today. Um, because I'm literally filming it now and I'm going to post it out straight afterwards. So, yeah. So, so much has gone on over the past month. I mean, wow, it has been such a journey. It's really been such a pivotal time over the solstice for really breaking down so many layers of the distorted masculine. Um, I've really felt this coming so strongly um through my grid work trip in Rome as well. It's just been, I mean, this trip has just been absolutely phenomenal. Um, and the aftermath that's coming with it as well, it's just really something special. Um, so I'd like to talk a little bit about the grid work trip to Rome today. I would also like to check in on some updates that I'm going to be doing through January, and seeing how that's going to progress through the year actually as well. That's going to be really interesting because there's been so much that's coming up energetically in themes, but also how how the movements of the collective are really transforming in their own healing patterns, in their own development, and what really will be kind of anchoring in and coming in throughout the year. Um, so I think we should just get straight into this today, guys. Um, the first thing I will be saying is I'm going to be doing a self-care Sunday next Sunday on the 7th of January at 6 p.m. UK time. It's completely free. Um, and I would love to see you all there to really get the ball rolling on the healing for the year, get ourselves moving in the right direction and aligning to our highest trajectories for us to kind of open this year the way that we intend to go on. So I know I did intend to do it today, but I just didn't have time. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I've just been so busy. So that being said, on the 11th and the 21st, I'm gonna be hosting two events on my website. They're gonna be field calibrations. Um, these two dates have been given to me specifically. I'm not entirely sure why just yet, but I'm gonna be tuning into them over the next couple of days and just figuring out what's going on these dates. I feel like there is um the 21st actually, I'm feeling that there is going to be movement through the masculine body, movement through specific healing layers around this date period for the masculine. And again, linking back into Rome, linking back into all of um December, really. So much masculine healing has been coming forwards. Um, and real reconciliation for the inner child as well. I feel this is kind of where these two dates are going to be focused on. So tying up loose ends with previous wounding and trauma, one of the present life and one overall divine masculine. So that's that's that sorted. That's kind of what's coming to me at this moment, but again, I will be checking in. So child on the 11th, 21st masculine. And jag kollar som smart på here. Okay, so we're going to have those two events on the 11th and on the 21st. I'll leave them in the links down below. We're going to have the Self-Care Sunday group on the 7th of January as well. And what I'm going to be introducing this year will be a grid worker development class, and also I would like to be hosting group grid work sessions to really kind of like develop and grow as a group and help to kind of expand the awareness of this. I would like to be getting more people used to working in the grids. Obviously, it's going to attract the right templates of soul groups into the awareness of this and into the classes and things like that. But this, I would like to state that this will be a free for all with guidance and protections and this, that, and the other. I'm really starting to understand how to tune in to these locations, how to tune into these fields and bodies. I don't think it's going to begin this month, to be honest. I feel like it's going to be coming in more so February, March time. I know that I've got a trip to Ireland coming up in March. I believe on the solstice, and that will be a grid work trip as well. So it could potentially be around that time to get people really starting to care for the planet in the energetic sense as well, and really get into grips with that. Okay, so that's really cool. We've got two events. We've got the self-care, so 3 events. We've got Self-Care Sunday, 11th and the 21st, child and masculine healing, and then we've got the grid work development and grid work training and development. We've got grid work group sessions as well. So that's all kind of coming forwards on the way. So just touching back into Rome, I mean, oh my God, this place has just been absolutely mind-blowing. As soon as I arrived in Rome, it was so dense and thick with distortion of the masculine body. It had been it was as if it was unable to heal itself. And this was very interesting because on the very first day that I arrived, I was guided to go to Castel d'Angelo. And within this location, this was where it was the mausoleum of Hadrian, the Roman Emperor Hadrian. And he was the one who built Hadrian's Wall in the UK, borders of Scotland and the UK. So this was very interesting to me, and not only was it a like a warm, I don't even know what to call it really, like a war turret or a building that housed a lot of cannons, and it was like a lookout post essentially, but a lot more grand than that, because there were like little villages that lived within there as well. Now, within this location, there was a massive seal, not the animal, but the type that locks frequency through the land, so it kind of landlocks stagnant energy. Now, I noticed when I remote viewed the building, I saw how this location was hosting a master seal that was linking into, like, I think it was either 6 or 8 other seal locations. Um, one of which was coming in through the Vatican, one of which was coming through the Colosseum, one of which was coming through Palatine Hill, and there were a couple of other locations that were more northeast, and there was some coming through in the south of Rome as well. So this was all very fascinating because as this reminded me so much of the August gridwork trip to London, where there was the master seal location that was locked in through Westminster Abbey, which then 1 month later, all of these locations that I went to in London, the seal network that I was watching be dismantled there, were in all the places where the Queen's coffin was being carried. So this to me was essentially a disconnection to the Earth's spiritual body. It was also a disconnection. It was a landlocking of specific consciousness flows and connections in London we're talking about. And also this translates to Rome as well. So it's kind of the same kind of job that was going on there. Which was just really interesting to see how these correlations of seal networks were kind of coming through. Now, London, this was when I went through this, it was during Lionsgate, so the energy was super heightened. However, when you went into the center of London, there was absolutely real difficult chances of trying to connect into the fields. It was very heavy. It was a lot of blocks. It was not fun. It was very painful as well at times, trying to connect into this, and I know really you should be taking a step back and not trying to go into these places when it's like this. But me being me, I'm very much like a bit of, they give me the word, like rapscallion. It's not something I would usually say, like a rebellious, and I will kind of try until my ego has been satisfied or got to the point where I'm like, actually, do you know what? Maybe it's not right. Now in that process, it's like it's all a learning curve, and you understand more. It's all about the surrendering and just allowing the visions to open up and really expand so you can get to where you need to get to. Now that did actually happen during this trip in London. And even with that, all kind of breaking down, when I went back in November, it was instant connection to the fields. There was no trouble, there was no stagnation, there was no difficulty getting in. It was very open and clear. So it all worked out nicely. Now, Rome, similar thing happened, apart from there was more easier connection to get into the network. I had a lot of help from my team with this one, because it's obviously I'm not a native to the country, so it was all put in place for me to kind of allow to be allowed to get to where I needed to get to. So this master seal system, I saw all of this come out. No, I was kind of on the fence about whether I should really talk about this sort of stuff, but I've actually already been in a video with Indigo Angel already, so I was going to keep it more quiet as to my experiences, but obviously that didn't really happen, to say the least. So, you know what? It's the 1st of January. Um, I'm very, very, very happy with the way that the work has gone, over there. And what I saw when I entered the Vatican was real, like, even just St. Peter's Basilica, not Basilica, the, St. Peter's Square was really like a kind of primary location as to where everything kind of sits and goes. Now within that central location, what I saw was, um, a reverse a Stargate reversal system, um, and what was also surrounding this was a crown of thorns. It was a literal crown, not a literal crown of thorns, but a metaphysical crown of thorns. But it was massive. So it was situated around that. And this is one of the crucifixion wounds that we'll find in many different locations of the planetary body. Um, but this one in particular was so heavy. Um, And as I was kind of observing this, I also saw like a heavy guarded night system, like a like a negative Templar orientation, that was also circulating around this space. No, I actually ended up going back to this location about 3 or 4 times to really get everything done. So this was on the first night, so I kind of went in and, observed bits and bobs here and there, um, and started to do some clearings as well. What was also really interesting here as well, there was a Christmas tree that lit up like a DNA strand. Um, so I thought that was really interesting how they've kind of got this running through this location. Now, I just want to make a note here that this Stargate actually is the sister or the brother, whatever you want to call it, the pair to the Machu Picchu Stargate reversal, the Stargate organic. And it's also Machu Picchu is also the sacral chakra of the earth. Um, so that being said, this trip really aligned heavily into this distorted masculine clearing here. Now, not only that, it also went into the whole mm, purification of distorted sexual energy. Now, this has been so, so, so thick and so heavy that's been going on. This ideation and stagnation of real dark sexual energy that has been kind of landlocked through this seal network, but then also spreading throughout the different countries as well over thousands and thousands of years. Um, we're looking back to the forced breeder programs. We're looking into like sexual slavery. So many um, so many different things that have been coming forwards with this. And I just found it very interesting because as all of this has been coming up, as I progressed through, I think it was on the final day when I sat and I meditated for about 4 hours, um, just to kind of try and make sense of everything. This is when I got this final image um, of a shield that had been lain, lain, laid over Rome. And this was also like kind of working its way into Greece as well, and then extending out across the globe in particular locations, particularly through Latin America, or through the European regimes. It's been pretty strong. Um, Now this shield was tied in to a kind of it was like a template, or maybe not a template. This shield was, I'll say it's more like a seal system actually, because it was the image that they gave me was just like the overall feeling to it was patriarchal dominance, abuse of power, and how this was kind of played in. It was also linking into the predatorial digressive mentality, the control control structures that would be utilizing this as a means of sexual predatory, I suppose. So as I'm watching this coming out, I'm seeing this holographically overlaid to a body, implanted into the I'm gonna say the reptilian brain. I'm not entirely sure of the biological terms of the different brains, but it was tied into the reptilian brain. It was also tied into the pituitary gland. It was also tied into um tied into like the endocrine systems, the parts that produce um sexual sexual chemistry, you like the secretions that would come out of specific glands is what I'm trying to say. But not knowing the scientific terms to really explain this so well. So we've got them implanted into the brain, we've got it implanted into the heart, and we've got it implanted into the testes, right? So it's going in through these three locations, and each location harbors like a slightly different mechanism to, like, some parts of it are hosting like tentacles. There are also, upon the shield, there are patterns as well. So we've got fleur-de-lis in one corner, we've got three, I think it was three griffins in another corner, and we've got spears, and then checkerboard and red and white lines. So all of these are linking in to specific nobility patterns, points in time, and distortion implants of forced breeding. Um, these these are all making up specific distortions through the mental body, through the sexual mental, the sexuality and the mental interactions through the perceptions, and iterates through multiple different layers within your bioenergetic field, and like the perception fields and things like that. So it's essentially multiple hijackings coming out within this. Now, as I removed this, because what it was presented on myself, but also as a means it was presented on the collective. So as I kind of removed this, I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. So I literally got it off, had a very, very, very profound release. And then as I walked down the road to go and get some ice cream, because it was that intense, not because I just wanted ice cream. I'm joking. It was fantastic ice cream over there. The the energy of people was so much more heightened um after this had come off, after the seal network had come out, and after the clearing through Tivoli, which you can watch in one of the previous videos um on my channel. I think it's the one just prior to this, actually. You can see the gardens of Tivoli, and you can see very first one that I did, but I can't actually fully remember where that was exactly right now. So yeah. Okay. So that being said, all of this energy being cleared from this location, from the collective mind, from this grid location, um, with that seal system deactivated and broken down, and dissolved, the connection to the waters of the Mediterranean Sea began to come in and run cleansing through Rome, through Italy in itself, actually, which was great. It was lovely, and you could really feel the difference day by day as you kind of walked around. Um, let me have some of this tea. Right. So yeah. Now, coming back to this Stargate, this reversal Stargate, tying into the sacral chakra of the earth in Machu Picchu is the sister of it. Um, the second day when I went there, um, I went in the evening and I just was observing the space again and just being there. And then as I was kind of sitting there, I was seeing clearings coming in and starting to work through. So I engaged, um, which went on for about half an hour. And then things really started to heat up quite a lot, energetically. And what I saw, if I was sat at the right side of St. Peter's Square, what I saw was through the sky, I saw Yeshua coming in through the sky with his arms open and wide, and things got so emotionally heightened. I began to cry, and I felt the overwhelming love coming in. And as he moved in, um, I saw him come down to like a human size, if you will, because it was really large in the sky at the time, coming back down to like a human size, and then moving forwards and walking in to the Stargate. He walked into the Stargate, right into the center. No, there were so many other things that were within the Stargate that was running as like a reversal. There was the black tesseract cube, the Saturnian cubes, um, the crown of thorns. So many different symbols. There were these negative knights. There were the uh, what were the other things? Almost like gargoyles as well, but not nice ones. So as he walked into this, I was like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" Because my whole body began to uh, kind of oscillate and go into complete release over and over again. It was multiple. There were loads. It was one after another. My whole body was just releasing and releasing and releasing. Um, until I mean, it didn't really stop, to be honest. Um, so as this was happening, I was seeing like all of this gunk and goo coming up out of the center point of the Stargate, um, and running as golden waves that were expanding across the space, across the lands. Um, so that being said, as this was I mean, I can just feel it now. Like the body is just releasing and releasing again, as if I'm there again. I've gone freezing cold as well. Um, so as that was all happening, the next thing really blew my mind. I was like quite taken back with this. because the clouds opened up and I saw this holographic um diamond iridescent arm coming down through the heavens, where the skies were all black, blackened and really cloudy, and straight through this I see this hand coming down and into the center of the stargate, pulling up these black cubes, and within the hand they begin to dissolve into sand, which we know is crystal. No, you've got us multiple, no, yeah. Um, and I mean, even to this day, it was. I say even to this day, it's been like 2 weeks. I mean, it was just so, so profound. The whole movements of this and the hand of God coming down. This is what I believe it is. Um, Completely dissolving out all of these crowns of thorns, the black tesseract cube, and reversing the reversal, so to speak, to correct an inorganic current back to an organic flow, which was just, to me, it was quite miraculous. How all of this was kind of coming about and taking place. So I just really wanted to share that with you, um, as well, how all of that was kind of coming together. I mean, there was so much more that happened in Rome as well. Um, and I would like to I'd like to go back there again at some point. I don't really feel like I need to anytime soon, but just to kind of experience and see what the differences are post this trip, maybe like 3 months down the line, just to kind of see what's gone on. Um, but yeah, that it's just been so phenomenal how all of that's kind of come about within this one session of me sitting by the Vatican and sitting by the square and watching. And then obviously on the final day, um, the solstice, we went back there, but this time as a group. Um, and the very last place we came to was, or we went back to, was the Vatican, was the St. Peter's Square, and this was where um, the reconnection of the divine I am presence, the reconnection through the crown, resurfaced and connected in. And as I was running the calibration on the long pillar, in the video of it, all of the lights lit up, as I said, reconnection to the crown expansion, and then just like that, all of the lights turn on around us. I was like, whoa, that was really cool. So yeah, I will leave a link down below for that video as well. It's worth a watch. We did end up getting kicked out of the Vatican first thing because Indy was wearing angel wings. Um, you know, so she did that and then took them off afterwards, and then we proceeded on. Um, but yeah, it's been so fantastic. And then along with all of that, the collapsing of all of these distorted masculine bodies, this restructuring of the masculine energy, and opening, holding space for that sacred masculine flow to really merge and move in a whole lot more, which was, it was fantastic, it really was. So yeah, so that was just a bit of the grid work trip. And like I said, I will be doing online grid sessions this year, so please do look out for them. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to develop our skills and really kind of uh, build the repertoire of how we can look after the Earth's body and get to know the Earth's bodies as well as our own. in the process of it, and how we kind of translate energy and interaction within our own fields and how it translates to us. So it's gonna be an interesting schooling experience this year, um, and so much fun as well in the process. Takes time, but as you kind of work in and develop in all of these different locations and areas of yourself, you become so much more comfortable in doing it on a day-to-day basis. So yeah. Anyway, that being said, we're going to touch base on the energy updates that I've been picking up this month. I started to intuit a little bit when I was actually in Rome. It just felt like the right time to kind of connect in. I'm just going to have a look at some of my notes here. Right, okay. So the first thing that came to me whilst I was there was Carrie Lake, and Carrie Lake is or was, I don't know, the gubernatorial of Arizona. She used to be the GOP, um, but we all know how elections are being manipulated at the moment. Um, and we kind of, if you follow some of the stories, you'll see how she's being portrayed at the moment. Which I'm going to be honest, it's absolutely false, as everyone who watches this channel pretty much knows already. Um, how these inversion templates are really being pushed to the forefront, and quite frankly, as these inversions are being pushed so much, it's becoming more and more obvious to the masses as well. Dependent on the country, I have to say, because what I feel is like when within the American domain, there's obviously more people that are discussing these things and smartening up on what's going on. But then if you looked at other countries, because they're being spoon fed a bunch of shite from the other media companies, excuse my French or Italian, um, you know, they're not necessarily being given the information that is accurate and truthful. So really, it's so important to be shopping around with your media, and just reading from a neutral perspective to gain insight into, and then cross-referencing what each one are saying. I'm not massive on reading media, if I'm honest, but I do tend to scour um, different sites just to get a look at what people are saying, and then I'll get information as to what is accurate and what isn't. So it's just a kind of a good method, instead of just reading what you're being given, look at the different countries to see what they're saying as well, and then you can kind of say, oh, actually, this is what they're saying in one place, and this is what they're saying in the other place, without teaching you to suck eggs, as my friend Ian would say. Um, you kind of get that option to broaden your awareness and broaden the expanse in how you perceive what's going on. Um, so yeah, Carrie Lake, the energy around her, what I actually saw her getting here was she was receiving some kind of document or some kind of award. Um, now, I'm not entirely sure what this is about. But what came with this was um, a sense of honor, a sense of integrity, and a sense of fulfillment. It felt as if she had completed something that she had really, really set her mind to doing. And it was holding honor, it was holding integrity, and it was holding truth as well. So this was a really, really great sign for me. Um, Now that obviously the end result, the steps in between, none of us are really going to know. I mean, we can guess after what we've seen in many other different elections. We look to the the woman from Myanmar. She's just been jailed for another 7 years or something like that, and a lot of her elections were election fraud, and that's why the military stepped in to kind of take place there and correct people. Now, I feel saying this um is just to kind of draw back the awareness that this is still a possibility in many other countries. There was also something in Germany, I didn't look into this, so I'm gonna say do your own research on this. But I saw there was a bunch of people who got arrested, a bunch of politicians who got arrested, and what was portrayed as being a far right-wing um, political group, something like that. Um, Now, once again, with media pushing certain terms like right-wing conspiracy theorists, when in actual fact it's not always the case. You know, these um bits of information, I don't really know why I'm talking so much on this, but this could be something that's a potential coming forward. I haven't seen this yet. Well, I did a while ago, but I haven't really pinpointed it to the forefront because I think it was last year. Not last year, the year before, 2021, I was just seeing the military coming in every single day. The military coming in and moving things around and kind of taking control. Um, but um, when it happens, if it happens, great. We'll kind of just see that through as it comes. However, now just kind of pointing to reference of the what's her name? Myanmar woman, president, forgot her name. Um, who was arrested and taken hostage, now being charged with even more time. Like, there was so much stick about this from that general public. There were riots because they believed in her, even though the military came in and kind of took control, and actually the military worked for the people, not for the governments. Um, they work to serve the people, and if there are corrupt governments, this is the kind of thing that will come into place. Now, I am going to look into this afterwards because I did not expect to be speaking at 20 to 8 so much on military coverage. So we're just going to have to kind of go with this and see where this goes. But yeah, um, Carrie Lake, um, she's just pointed out that there was another case of election um what's the word? Recounts in Georgia because there were too many anomalies. So what she was stating, like, don't give up hope. This is still a possibility. Um, and I don't think she's gonna give up, is what I'm trying to say. I don't feel like she's gonna stop. And this is what I feel is kind of coming. I feel like she's gonna continue and continue and continue, and she's not gonna lose, if I'm honest. So I'm very interested to see how this is all going to transpire. Um, it's like kind of watching the next week's episode of EastEnders or whatever, but psychically, and it's to do with the world. So this is kind of what's come forward to me. The same thing with the 2022 um midterm elections. There was a red wave. There was absolutely a massive red wave, psychically. And then what I saw was the tiny blue wave that followed afterwards wasn't like made absolutely no difference. I spoke about this in November last year. Um, what I also saw back then was these tiles flipping over to white. I had no idea what that meant at the time. Um, whether it was kind of like a surrender, a flip back over, but this is kind of all tying up and playing together. Now, I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I feel like it's very important to mention, that since I think it was from September, maybe October onwards, what I was continuously seeing was the scenes of a play, the final call of a curtain. And me and my friend Astra, we would always kind of share our intel, what we're receiving psychically, with one another to validate. Um, and we're both continuously getting the same thing, interpreting it in different ways, and then going into it and going out of it. And this was like the final um the final show, so to speak, um coming in through uh what is now 2023. At the time I didn't know what the date was. It was just a kind of like a sit tight and wait to be told which place to go to. Now interestingly enough, Magenta Pixie popped up and posted so, something about the final play being called. I was like, oh my god, okay, here we are. So everything again, once again, slotted into place. So if you haven't seen her channeling from the 9, it is fabulous. It's wonderful. Go and check it out. On I think it's on a Telegram group or something like that. Everything kind of matched up and lined into place. So when I say this year's this year's going to be big, it's going to be real big. Carrie Lake, going to be wonderful. Moving into the second topic of the energy, I'm going to get a jumper because I'm actually freezing. I've got so much energy moving through me right now. There we go. Yay. Okay. So the second topic that came up was a much stronger development in scope for the masses, so much more potent with levels of awareness, so much more development of allowing themselves to see like the other side, patch the pieces together rather than dismissing and saying no, it's either this or that. So that when I received this information, this is when I saw the checkerboard, black and white mentality, the checkerboard mutations through the mental fields of the collective beginning to deteriorate in many locations. And just as I'm looking at this now, what I can see is like within the deteriorations, I can see flowers growing through them. So what we're kind of getting with this is seed points of mental awareness, of understanding and of scope development to be able to, instead of going on the defensive and dismissing, is to allow that possibility to come forwards and work its way into as a potentiality. So we're not getting, if something doesn't go the way that we think it's going to go, we're not becoming completely unhinged and reactive or going into despair, which is fantastic because we can see how the development of the collective is going. It's just so wonderful to kind of piece this together now and really understand that people are understanding that they're developing multiple levels of awareness to fit a concept. So the next step to that would be multidimensional awareness of this. So we're getting the horizontal line of this and seeing it from all perspectives that way, or allowing that to come in depending on where they're at. But as we move forward through this, we're then allowing the vertical pillar to open and gaining the multi-dimensional levels of the understanding to the story as well. So that will be coming in. So this is such a massive step forward for humanity. It's like the magic spell is being broken where um the tactics would be used to um divide the collectives. It would be used to cause arguments and disarray. Now, I feel as this is being said, there is obviously a flip side to this because we are living in a third dimensional reality, a third dimensional world, where duality plays its spectrum, um, plays into things. So yes, there will be a portion of people that will not accept this and they will stay where they need to stay because it's for the highest good. It's what they've designed. And that's okay. But the great part to this is that when you open yourself up to these levels of knowing of evolution, you don't need to force the opinion into them, which is wonderful because it's so freeing. You understand that they're on their pathway in their place as to where they need to be, but for you, you can be overlooking, bird's eye viewing the whole situation, developing your understanding little bit by little bit, don't get me wrong, but developing your understanding to get the whole picture. And when you develop this, you release that need to be reactive. So just to know how fantastic that really is showing us how much more developed as a species we are. And that in and of itself is just absolute magic and such a fantastic thing to hear as we move into 2023, right? So, yeah. So that being said, the development of scope, the awareness of scope of the collective is super, super strong at the moment. And it's only going to continue in that way for the masses. And then obviously you've got that portion that's still going to be that resistance. But that, again, in and of itself, is going to be showing us where we're holding resistance in ourselves, where we're choosing to be stagnant. And as we work through that, we're then able to kind of allow ourselves to really heal and get us to grow the way that we need to be moving, right? Okay. So then we're able to kind of open us into that layer, that next set that's going to dissolve more of that checkerboard mutation, right? Okay. Let me just read this. Okay, so just to follow on from that, point number 3, I didn't really know where I was going to go with that, but it just, as it does, it comes together the way it should. The year development as well. What I've got written down here is the distinct breakdown of resistance to apply new areas of growth. So again, exactly what we've just been talking about. But what this does is it also moves us into a much more adaptable, versatile species where we can really kind of become more open to change. Um, and not feel like we're kind of stuck in the process of knowing which way to move forwards because then moving into a state of exploration, we're moving into a state of real kind of uh like the I've forgotten what the word is. A person that creates things, um engineer, no, um an inventor. So we're like inventing these new ways and techniques all through trial and error, but more on a collective level in like these pockets of people to kind of dissolve and resolve, like reinventing the wheel because we've already done it several thousand times. However, we're seeing it with this newly developed scope. So we're really opening to that higher intuitive level to kind of formate um, the um, the levels of development that we can kind of access. So that to me is kind of wonderful for 2023. We're being given the gift of exploration through this year. Exploration like we've not really kind of understood before. And what comes with that, yeah, there's gonna be shit that comes with it. Um, because when we're traversing through these heavy, thick layers of shadow, um, we're also gonna be learning through those depths at a different level, but really harnessing new techniques to work with this. So make the most of this when you're working individually and when you're working collectively, journal it, understand it, and be expressive with it. Because I feel like if that is where we're being pushed to become these fabulous creators that we are, it's in those motions of journaling, of vlogging, whatever you want to do to develop the set of skills that you've already got. So anyway, that being said, I'm going to close for today. We'll just finish on a short meditation, and you can sit with your palms facing upwards in your lap. The symbol for receiving, Yakaras mas matapothanui, no not mahiadres, and seeing two pillars of emerald light coming down into each palm, holding an emerald diamond templating running through these pillars of light and entering into the hands. Taking a breath in, bringing the palms together and connecting thumbs to the third eye. As these emerald tones fluctuate, these emerald templating fluctuate through the hands and up through the arms, coming through the thumbs and into the third eye, connecting into the third eye and expanding into the pine cone through the vertical pillar of light. Releasing fear, releasing distrust, releasing impatience. And as that vertical pillar of light really expands so much more with the breath, bringing in the emerald and the white tones, expanding through as white. I'm now seeing the triangle of the third eye to the elbow points coming forwards in yellow. And expanding through solar plex and merging into the tonation of the emerald through the diamond templating. Diamond emerald templating. Yakuras mas matabuhonoi. Breathing deep here, allowing the transfer to take place. Octahedrons, spin through center. Angel wings expand, wings of the seraphim. And also the wings of the Fae. Updating through the vertical pillar and through the horizontal axis. Creating a beautiful curved diamond configuration through this vertical horizontal axis. Intercept building a sphere nodal point through the points of the diamond and expanding indigo light vortexes through the spheres. Pink hearts, magenta hearts. Scalar wave, expansion through the vertical. Conical wave formations through the center point of the axis intercepts. Fluctuate vertically, upwards and downwards, and horizontally, left and right, creating a Templar. Axis spin, overlaying indigo octahedrons. Breathing deep. Origami birds. Overlay and unfold in white. Dissolving in flames. 666 code. Commanding, dissolving, extracting, releasing. Releasing fear. Releasing control. Releasing AI, technology, circuitry. Releasing uncertainty. Aquamarine expansion. Aligning through the vertical and horizontal flows. feeling black and seeing black tar-like substances excrete from the body, from the pores of the bioenergetic fields of the skin. Interesting. So this is also opening as spiraled horned goat beings as well, excreting with this black tar-like substance. And just now seeing the flame, the blue flamed sword moving down the vertical pillar and connecting into your integral structure, connecting into the diamond Merkaba fields and working the flame through the iridescent rainbow tones. Through the DNA 12-strand configuration. Cutting away any cords, any miasma. Any root-like orientation. Feeling the body get lighter and lighter. Crystal tones merge through the backdrop. And connect through the body. Correcting off the spine. Peacock tails opening and spinning through center, dancing and restoring tonal depletions through the teal blue spectrums. Templar, organic crystal Templar geometries move forwards and radiate light refraction through the primal light field. Correcting through higher harmonic synthesis. Feeling and acknowledging fear lifting and releasing through the heart, release through the cranial sacrum. Releasing control, releasing imprisonment. White water rises through the feet, raising up through the body, the wings of the seraphim expand and connect. Electric pulsation of yellow to gold sphere of light expands through the center, interacting with the water. Bliss tones response through the body, interacting through the cellular compositions, electric water, magnetic spheres, updating through the chakra system, connecting through the nervous system, and through the bioenergetic field. Releasing force. Spinning through the scalar wave. Blending through the pillar of light. Merging through the body. Feeling and acknowledging angst, anxiety, tension, running to dissolve. Seeds of emerald flowers grow beneath your feet, through the body, blades of grass, fresh wind, grounding the electric currents into the blades of grass, into the inner earth grids. Bliss momentums, dissolving fear, grounding the awareness, the mental stimulation. We update to all fields, we update to all localized grids, and we seal forward now through the I am presence, connecting to the breath. It is my greatest wish for you all to flourish in your highest trajectories this year. It is my greatest wish to see your flow harmonize. It is our greatest wish for you to access the core developments and anchor the potentialities through your field spectrums and trajectories, awareness, expansion, and awaken to the highest light synthesis. For this is your year to shine. This is your year to grow. This is your year to align to the higher harmonic chimes of vibration. To awaken range, depth perception. And to feel, acknowledge and know that flow of abundance in all forms, running to embody. As the tables turn, many will find difficulties, but the majorities will know exactly how to survive. And it is in that knowing and that awareness, the bridge between the worlds, merges and flourishes through 2023 onwards. It is within your kindest grace to extend out the olive branch of peace and moving into the moral high ground to harmonize your trajectories to beloved unification, however that may look within your reality. The internal momentums are graduating foundations in multiple spheres of awareness. Reclamation of sovereignty like no other. This is the alignment for 2023. From dark to light, the resolution. We are honored to deliver this transmission Happy New Year, guys. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna leave that with you, and I wish you all the very best year ahead. And yeah, I don't really have anything else to say now. Um, so much love. Bye.